Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meeting. It is September 16th, 2022. Today we got two agendas on for the day. The first one is about the add-on development guideline that QGen is proposing, and the second one is about upgrading the ClusterSet API from Dangping. So first up is QGen. Do you want to take over and talk a little bit about the add-on development? Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Let me give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah, this is just the starting of the draft about the add-on development. Some rules to develop the add-on in the OCM. As we discussed before, that we should set up some certain rules for the development of the add-on, including what's the release schedule, what's the name the repository should be. So I just put a very simple draft here, and so it currently just including several things like the first one is so at first the purpose is that to clarify what's the goal of the add-on and what is the main purpose of the add-on and what's the commitment for the add-on maintainer should have. So there is some things in here like the add-on code repo should have a dash add-on as a postfix for any new add-on in added. So one of the example that we are discussing about the search, I think based on this, the name of the repo and the project should be search dash add-on. And there are some other things like the license requirement, who should be the maintainer and what's the onboarding process. And also there are some explanation about the release cadence of the add-on. So it doesn't need to be fully tightly aligned with the core part, like when we deliver a release for the OCM registration operators, we don't really need to deliver a new release of the add-on. It could be separated, but it's responsibility for the add-on developer to indicate the supported version for the OCM core pieces. Like when there is a new version of the OCM, there are any, so the add-on maintainers need to test and check whether, and I mean mention in the README of the add-on or any document about whether it is supported by the OCM newer version, and what's the oldest version this add-on can support. So I think that's all that I have right now. I will put it in the Slack channel also, and to let everyone to review and see if there are any other things to add or change. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I think that's all. Any questions?
What about the existing repos? Are we going to talk about that in this guide, or like regarding maybe the renaming of some of the existing add-ons? Or do you think that should be done in a different doc?
Yeah, I think that's good question. I have no one. I don't have an answer now. I think it depends on the existing add-ons maintainer. I think the best part it is better that everyone can change the name. So do you think that I should add that into this doc?
I I I'm not sure myself because this is a guideline, like you said,
Yeah.
and yeah, it makes sense to not, set the rules for the newer repos, but for the older ones, that's a bit tricky. I
Yeah.
I, I don't know myself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think maybe we can. I will post a thread in the Slack channel, and then we can have more discussion also with other one who is maintaining the old add-ons.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you. Any other questions for Q Zhang regarding the this document? Okay. Dangpeng, do you want to share your screen and talk a little bit about the new ClusterSet API? Thank you.
Okay, I will share my screen. Could you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Today I will show the ClusterSet API upgrade, and in this release we will add a v1 beta 2 ClusterSet API and rename the legacy ClusterSet selector tab. And first, let's see the motivation. Currently, if a user create a ClusterSet with empty spec, and we will set some default value, and like we will set the select tab is legacy ClusterSet, but the legacy ClusterSet name is not appropriate. So we want to use the exclusive ClusterSet to replace the legacy ClusterSet. This is the motivation, and in order to do that, we need to consider the migration path. So we add a v1 beta 2 ClusterSet version in this release, and we use a conversion webhook to do that. And with this, we will support the exclusive ClusterSet label in v1 beta 2 and add a conversion webhook transform ClusterSet CR between v1 beta 1 and v1 beta 2. And in this release, we also mark the ClusterSet API v1 beta 1 is deprecated. And each ClusterSet consumers could use the new ClusterSet API. And we also we support the legacy ClusterSet and exclusive ClusterSet in this release. And in release N+1, we will change the storage version to v1 beta 2 and all existing v1 beta 1 ClusterSet will change to v1 beta 2 in etcd, and all consumers must upgrade the ClusterSet API to v1 beta 2, and we will remove the v1 beta 1 API in N+2 or future release. Yeah, that's all for the plan. And any questions? Yeah, if
So-
no questions, yeah, I think
So
that's all.
for this release,
the-
we mean that 0.9.
Yeah, this release is 0.9.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, can you talk a little bit about the motivation again? So the motivation is just instead of legacy, because we don't like the legacy or exclusive is a bit better. Is that the motivation?
Yeah, the legacy name is not very well, and we want to rename it to exclusive.
Are there any other questions for Dang Peng regarding this API? If not, thank you very much, Dang Peng, for the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
It seems like we have a lot of time left. Tushang, do you have anything that you want to talk about regarding the community?
Yeah, just one thing that I want to mention is I think in the next week we have several demo. It's going to be demoed in the in the meeting. It's about one is about the two demo is about a project in a student project for the community. One is about multi-cluster tracing, and another one is about spread policy using a placement. So I haven't seen that in the agenda, so I will check, confirm with Jimmy. I think he's not here today, but I will confirm with him and Hao Qing and ask them to update the agenda for the next week.
When you say next week, you mean the week after next week, right?
I'm not quite sure. I think it is actually exactly next week in
Okay.
the US time meeting. Yeah, do we have one in the next week? I think so, right?
Yep, we do. We don't have a topic yet, so it'll be good to have that presentations. Those two topics are quite interesting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure whether 30 minutes is sufficient. Given that there will be two demos, so maybe we might need to increase the time for the next meeting. Maybe
Sure.
next week.
I think once you confirm about the schedule, and then we can definitely increase the time.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Another thing that I want to, maybe it's too early, but we have some discussion with Dan, and they are working on some demo on the working on some prototype of using IAM providers for the registration. So this might be some work that we need to take a look in the future, like how we can evolve the add-on API and class API to support the cluster, to support the registration using different mechanism. Another one that has been raised recently, also it is quite interesting, is about to provide different type of the work for different purpose. So currently we have a manifest work that basically deliver any manifest in resource manifest. But there are coming some requirements about maybe using manifest work to deliver the secret and to deliver maybe it's not appropriate to using the manifest work to deliver the secret and to deliver the permissions like row bindings in the to the spoke cluster. So I think this is something that we might need to consider, and probably we also can yeah, I think we can consider in the OC in our community at first about whether we should have a different type of work, like we could have permission work that just to deliver row and row bindings, and another secret work that is to deliver the secret. So this might fall. So if we have some discussion later, and then we may also could discuss it in a SIG multi-cluster to check whether it is also a requirement for the other users in the SIG multi-cluster. Does it make sense?
Yes, I think it makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's all for me. Thank you.
I am actually trying to get a demo up right now since we have some time. So we've been working on the pool model for Argo CD. So our current Argo CD integration that we have documented is the push model, where we generate the application sets on the hub cluster, and then which generates applications on the which depends on what's in the application set template. We generate a bunch of application on the hub, but then it needs the user to add the cluster to the Argo CD on the operator on the hub side. So essentially, the hub is directly applying the resources over to the managed cluster. But I've been playing with the Argo CD code to trying to implement the Open Cluster Management API, and then generate, instead of creating those application CRs on the hub side, creating manifest work and wrapping those application within manifest work, and have the manifest work deploy have the work deploy on the managed cluster. Then when the application CRs lands on the managed cluster, if there's the Argo CD controller running there, and then it will deploy the application. So I didn't expect we have some time, so I didn't prepare the demo, and then it seems like I'm trying to get the demo up now and it's not working. So I'll probably save it to for next week then. Anyways, that's
Okay,
basically
yeah.
what we have in mind. Okay. If there's no other topics, we have 9 minutes left. I guess we can call it early. Anyone else? Any final words?
Hi, Mike. This is Leia. I think I have one. I have created one epic for the community. I want to have a discussion today. Let me share my screen. Sorry, please give me a minute. Let me grant the permission to share with Zoom. I may need to rejoin to enable the sharing.
Yep, sure. Go ahead.
Rejoin Zoom. Okay, let me share my screen now. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Actually, this epic is about the code quality of OSM repos. I remember we have had a discussion several months ago. So the background is more and more users start using OSM in their project. So it's necessary for us to do something to guarantee our code quality of OSM repos. So I create two tasks. One is to increase unit code coverage or unit test of repos of the existing code to 70%. Another task is to set a quality gate for OSM repos to block PRs who's not meet our desired code coverage percentage, like integration with Sonar Cloud. So I'd like to get some feedback from the community. Is that necessary for us to do that, or we have a different opinion? I think I can. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I think we talked a little bit about it in another channel because I'm not sure, is it a strict requirement for the 70%? Because for example, I notice if I delete some codes and then I don't add any tests, but the tests already cover the existing code, and then I think Sonar Cloud will say that it's a 0% coverage. But even though I'm just deleting some code, will that block the PR? Do you know?
Yeah, no. So I don't think we should insist this 70%. We can have a discussion and select a more reasonable percentage of the code coverage.
I think the first one might make sense, like we can increase the current unit test to make the code coverage better for those OCM repos. I think we should be more careful about the second one, like setting a quality gate for the OCM repo for every PR. That might need more discussion. Maybe I think I see some kind of other project, like they don't set a certain percentage, like when you push a PR, the coverage must be higher than what percentage. Is more like when you create a PR, it doesn't reduce the current percentage. So it ensures that if you don't have, if you just delete the code and the coverage is 0, it will not break your peer. But it is not so it's not a perfect solution either. So I think we should be careful about the second. I mean 168, and maybe I think we can start with the first one at first.
Okay, I will also to start a discussion in the Slack channel and see if there's more feedback about this one.
Yeah, I think for the second one, is there an example where there's a public project, an open source project that have this quality gate based on the percentage of coverage, or having tests on no tests? I know there's quality gates for vulnerability scans, but I haven't run into a project that, that stopped your PR because of the code coverage. Do you guys know any of those projects?
I know there are some project, but I didn't remember the names. Maybe I will do some investigations and see what other open source community do about the code coverage.
Yes, I think that would be great, because then we can do a comparison and set some examples. It'll be great if they're also Kubernetes related. Yeah, thank you, Liang.
Okay. Okay, that's all from me.
Thank you. Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Final call, anyone? If not, thank you everyone for joining another community meeting. Take care, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.